Hi friends, this is Sarah. Welcome to Crafting and Relaxing. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, be sure you do so. I love every thumbs up and comment, and I'm happy to have new subscribers, so be sure to join me officially. Today I just wanted to show you a card that I made. I end up with UFOs, unfinished objects, all over my craft room, and I had this piece of alcohol ink paper sitting out, and finally I decided it was time, and I had set these flowers aside with it. My friend Noni gave me a piece of, she doesn't even remember what she was doing, but it looks to me like she took a piece of foam mount and put foil on it because it was a scrap, like just a couple inches long of tape. And I looked at it and thought, what am I going to do with that? And eventually it occurred to me to die cut it. It's kind of, what she made is kind of like the self-adhesive foam sheets that Queen & Company is selling, except it was foil instead of like glitter or a solid color. But I really liked it. I hope she'll make more. And then I took little black bling, put it in the center, and then I didn't have enough, so I put an enamel dot down here in this one. I used archival ink and a wood block stamp that's pretty old, maybe a little dry. I tried to stamp it right on there and I didn't get a good image the first time. I've mentioned to you guys that if you're going to use a stamp that's brand new or hasn't been used in a while, to ink it up and then stamp it off on scratch paper a couple times to be sure it's properly inked and ready. I didn't do that. Yeah, that's kind of what happens, right? So then I just stamped it on a piece of white cardstock. I probably should have matted it, but didn't think of it, and put it on there. And I was trying to keep it small so more of the background would show. Put those flowers and then gave it a black mat. Very simple. It went together very quickly after sitting around in here for weeks or months of being a UFO. And I like how it turned out. So I wanted to show you that. And then I did a money saving ideas video, and I didn't plan for weeks for that. It just, the idea came up and so I made it. So I'm thinking of more and more ideas. And if you're interested in that being a series, be sure and leave me a comment down below and let me know. This is a great example of a money saving option when you are crafting on a budget. This is simply a piece of scratch paper that was on my counter, and then I took bits of washi when I was cleaning my craft room after a big project and put them all on here. So these might have been, you know how you can use washi to tape your dies down? It might have been from that. It might have been when I go across the bottom of a page or a card and then the ends stick out, but I don't want to wrap it around because I don't want the back to show. So I trimmed it off of there. It might have been that part when you're trying to pull the washi off and it kind of wads up a little and you didn't quite get it, so you set that aside. Especially when I'm filming, I do that because I don't want you guys to have to wait until I get it all perfect. Then I just laid it on here in a seemingly random pattern. So when I had pieces of the silver foil, I didn't put them all next to each other. I spread them out, and I did the same with the butterflies and bits. And it turned into a lovely pattern, right? So I could use this as a border in a card. I could cut a couple of the strips and use it as my background. I could Mod Podge it or multimedia onto an art journal page, or do the same onto a card so that it would stick nice. It probably needs a layer of something over the top because you can see, you know how your washis are different levels of sticky? Some of these just aren't tacky enough and they won't stay down very well. But I just wanted you to see that. There are a lot of people making rosettes these days, and you can also buy rosettes. So if you want to save money, think about if you're camping or watching TV, or you're going to an all-day, like you're going to watch a baseball game or something like that. You could be sitting there doing something where it's kind of tedious and you could buy the stuff to save money, but you can also make it, and it doesn't, some stuff I don't like to make. Some stuff I'd rather just buy, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the stuff is fun to make and saves you a ton of money. And also then you don't end up with the same exact product that everybody else has because you made your rosettes and you chose them the way you wanted with the exact colors or papers that you wanted. Those are my ideas for you. I am getting ready soon. I'll be going to Kentucky, which I think is my 18th state I visited. So, not even halfway to visiting all of them. I have a ways to go. And a lot of you have been asking about the Scrap PDX video and scrap in general. So, here's a few things you need to know about that. PDX is the acronym for the Portland, Oregon airport. So Scrap PDX is the Portland store. But if you go to scrappdx.org, I think that's right, just Google Scrap PDX or scrappdx.org, and you look, there are scrap locations. There's about 5 or 6 in the US. I also heard about something, I think it was in Pennsylvania, that was similar, and I thought somewhere on the Scrap PDX website I saw a connection to that, but then I couldn't find it again. So there's a store in California. I think there's a couple on the East Coast. If you're interested in that, be sure and check them out. If they're anything like our store, it was definitely worth the hour drive. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a great week. Bye-bye.